Good evening. Welcome to the Cafe Night Show. I'm your host, the Goldsmith. It is the 3rd of April, 2024. Happens to be Wednesday, and we do have a few more drops here on Upland, trying to incentivize those who aren't yet going to Genesis Week 2024 to go. A couple of quick reviews on what's going on so far, what we know, and some of the promises of more information to come as far as Genesis Week 2024 is concerned. I do want to put that little drop out there. I keep putting it out there, and want to continue to encourage people who can't make it in Genesis Week 2024 to still be excited. There's a lot that's going to happen that's not tied to the in-person, but again, Upland's doing their best to incentivize people to want to go in person. And we'll get into what the incentivization here is. It does involve in-person racing, so it's kind of exciting to see that happen. We also had the Blossom Season racing get kicked off. Again, do we have a theme of racing building as we head towards Genesis Week? I know we do. And then we, of course, did have a sale today, a sale for the Blossom structural ornaments or Blossom ornament bundles. We'll get into how that went so far. They are still available, hint up front. But also to just jump in and get ready for a couple things that are going to happen on the backside. Again, big announcement on what Upland is doing or how Upland is setting things up when it comes to Genesis Week 2024, what they're doing for this. A little teaser here with more information, a little incentive here with an after party. And again, some little notes here on that ornament sale and how that went today. And getting there to get there, let's get through the disclaimer to get there. Disclaimer, all views and opinions expressed by myself or mine alone. They do not represent the game of the team of Upland. Should be taken as game strategy or financial advice. Guess what we do have on guessing contributors. Their views are theirs and theirs alone. Should be taken as game strategy advice. Shouldn't be taken as coming from the game of the team of Upland. They don't represent myself, the Goldsmith of the Cafe Nightly Show. Look at that. Pretty easy to get out of the way. But definitely do want to jump right in. Let's jump into... first and foremost, what happened first here? The ornament sale today was scheduled for 9 a.m. PT, as we do have for a lot of these sales. So we had the cutoff at 8 a.m. PT, so people did registration, get ready for the registration. The cutoff happened. Everything looks good. And then about 10 minutes on my side, it was a little further in some forms of communication, but 10 minutes in, 10 minutes ahead on the side of Discord a little earlier in game, but letting us know there was going to be a delay owing to some technical difficulties. And I will pop it up on the screen. I didn't get it there yet, but owing to some technical difficulties, we will be delaying our ornament sale for 2 hours. And that's exactly what happened. In that announcement, obviously, there was the potential, and was put out there that, we could give you more information. It might get delayed further. Realistically, it was a 2-hour kicked off, ran as it was expected to do so. But whenever these happen, these sales that get delayed, especially minutes before they happen, as opposed to hours before they happen, you get people who, were ready for whatever reason. They took a lunch. They, are halfway across the world and stayed up 2 hours later. They were going to stay up anyways. And now they got to stay up another 2 hours. Now they got to try to get into the sale in the afternoon. We know technical difficulties do happen, but it's just a reality of what happened. So some people did not get their opportunity to be part of that early start of the sale. It was unfortunate. And again, definitely people who are in the part of the world where it was nighttime and it was I can stay up to 3, but I'm not going to stay up to 5 a.m. And reality that did set in there for some people. But otherwise, the sale did go through. We do, and we can take a look at, what we have left as far as those packages are concerned. A lot of them did sell through. A couple of them did sell through, with the luxury ranch already being sold out and the apartment building with 300 of the apartment building bundles available. Those are a popular one. People like to decorate the apartment buildings. They are a large target. They do tend to look good. They do tend to do a pretty good job of that apartment. Hey, good to see you, Wolf. They do a pretty good job of setting up those structure ornaments for the apartment building. So I get why those tend to sell first. The micro houses, there's just a ton of them out there. Those aren't sold out yet. There's 223 of those bundles left. There were 600 originally. The small townhouse bundle, 365 of those left out of 600. The ranch house bundle, 159 available of 400. 327 left of version 2 for the townhouse small of 600, and 130 of 500 left for the townhouse bundle. With that said, what we did already see is distribution looks to be pretty broad, and like there's a lot left when it comes to the Block Explorer. We have a special, consideration with this sale. The sale is you're getting a structure ornament, and you're also getting a Block Explorer. With the Block Explorer, there's a burn collection or burn the collection of Block Explorers, either organized by color or organized by getting one of each or one of each color of the same type of Block Explorer. We'll take a quick look at what that looks like, and there was some clarification on that today. So people had a question, and it was a good one. It was a good question, but that question was, if I burn the whatever Block Explorer, the mauve Voyager, is that going to count in both sets? And it's not. You're going to have to burn one set essentially in order 1, 2, 3, 4, either by color, or burn one set in order organized by different colors of the same type of Block Explorer. And what that looks like, way that's organized is, if I take a look back at our Blossom Season ornament bundles from yesterday, we see this little table here. Where is it? There it is. We see this little table. So there is the Gear Grazer, there is the copper, there's the gold, there's the, where are we here? There is the mauve, and here is the cobalt. You could either have the cobalt set, you get the mauve set, you could have the copper set, you could have the gold set. If to have the gold set, you have one of the Gear Grazers, one of the Bolt Brain set, one of the Iron Bloom set, one of the Voyager set, but in a specific color. So we see you can either look at this as a set of 4 columns or a set of 4 rows to give you your 4 possible burn combinations. When you look at it that way, it does make it a little easier. Again, it does seem like, hey, you're telling me to burn one of these in both directions. Yes, but once it's burnt once, you can't count it towards 2 sets. So just think about, I'm burning 4 of these Bolt Brains. I burn 4 Bolt Brains, one of each color, right in a row. That's going to be caught. That's going to be caught as a burn set. That's what's going to earn you your reward for the Bolt Brain set. You're going to burn 1 gold Gear Grazer, 1 gold Bolt Brain, 1 gold Iron Bloom, 1 gold Voyager, and that is your gold set. So just keep that in mind. It was definitely a clarification worth keeping in mind as of today. We've seen some people already going and burning these. And the other clarification is, if you burn 3 of the Gear Grazer sets, or 3 of the gold sets, or 3 of the mauve sets, whatever you end up burning in duplicate, you burn the entire set 3 times, you should expect 3 rewards. That's simple. And with a note here, obviously, in that there is, and we do have a better idea what those look like in terms of a variable percentage or a variable rarity. We have different rarities of our different colors. I can go here and I can actually take a look at those Block Explorers and see that our gold, I think there's only 75 of each gold. There's going to be, I think the common is going to be 350 of each of the common of the mauve. There's going to be, I think copper is 150, and I'm not even sure about the cobalt in this case because I don't have any cobalt to compare. But that's what it looks like on my side. I got, we have the copper here. I go the copper. There's a total on the copper of 150 of those, and we, like I said, we had 75. Get back to where it was. We had 75 of the gold. We had 350 of the mauve, and again, I don't know what the number is of the cobalt, but I think it's going to be somewhere in the 200 range because that would just make sense as that being the second most common of the sets. And we'll just keep seeing how that works as far as that burn. But with the dates, there's a couple of important things to keep track of on the Blossom Ornament sale. We do have a burn period during which we can burn to get our rewards. Again, if you want to get more details on the burns and what you get for the rewards, we went over it yesterday, but it's right here. It's right here in the announcement. Jump in, take a look. If you are on YouTube here, I'll scroll nice and slow. If you're not, go open the announcement. Go to the under announcements for, there we go, the Blossom Ornament Season bundles. They're calling this the Retro Futurism Burn. We talked about the different sets, different directions you could burn, and of course, different rewards that are available depending on what you burn. The key thing on dates for the burn is our cutoff on our burn is going to be the 11th. That's April 11th at 9 a.m. PT. If you want to burn the block explorers to get those rewards, keep that in mind. Friday, April 12th, 9 a.m. PT. That's a deadline for ornament purchases if you want to buy the ornament bundles in order to get a reward, and the reward is entry into the map asset sale. So there is a secondary sale here with gating. The gating is obviously purchase at least one structure ornament bundle. If you do that, you're going to have an opportunity to get into the retrofuturistic map asset sale. Again, this is going to be a UPX only sale, which is kind of exciting because we haven't had many lately. 10,000 UPX per sale, but there are 900 of those available, so you may be able to get more than one possible. Anybody who bought one structure ornament has the opportunity to register for these sales. So pretty fun to see that. Again, on the UPX side, that sale itself is going to happen Wednesday, the 17th, 9 a.m. PT. I'm sorry, that's going to be a deadline for map asset purchase to enter the Bermuda property drawing. That's a separate set there. But the sale for the property the map asset, is going to be Monday, April 15th at 8 a.m. PT for the registration. The sale dating is going to be Tuesday, the 16th at 9 a.m. PT. And again, you have to purchase those bundles by the 17th to be eligible for a Bermuda property drawing, with a caveat. I'm going to give you the caveat. The caveat is I don't think it's going to last that long. These, especially on the UPX side of the purchase on UPX, we do see that they sell out relatively quickly. So I would expect that to be no different this time around. Again, everyone is making the UPX some degree of UPX on a daily basis. If you're not in a city mint every week, if you're not buying up the secondary, if you're not minting out Los Angeles or another city that has a lot of unminted properties, then probably you're sitting and watching your UPX grow and wondering what you're going to do with it and waiting for the next city mint. And hey, here's a sale finally that is an UPX, and it's your opportunity to go spend what UPX you can on getting one or two or three bundles here at 10,000 UPX each. And I think it's not going to be a sale that's going to stick around for too long. Looking forward to it. Again, that this is something that is going to be an exclusive sale for those who buy a structure ornament bundle, which is a USD exclusive sale. That's definitely worth keeping in mind. But let's get to what I wanted to get to. Obviously, wanted to get the sale out of the way. Go over the fact that it didn't go perfectly today. They're still available if you something you do want to participate in. Keep in mind they are USD pricing. So if you're not in the USD market, if you're choosing to buy things in UPX and now is not the time to open the wallet with the USD, you can always go to a secondary shop. There are structure ornament shops out there throughout the game of Upland. Do feel free to go and take a look at those to go in and try to buy one of these if you're looking to do so. And also Block Explorer stores if you're trying to complete those Block Explorer collections for the burn, for the rewards. But with that, definitely looking at this being something we've got some things playing out with over the next week. But the announcement as of today, that was pretty compelling. It kind of supported me a little bit in where I already was, and that is getting ready for Genesis Week 2024 in person. A Genesis Week update. Again, we're going to get more of these. Uplands told us I expect to see more things about what's happening at Genesis Week. We're going to have to start having things like getting a calendar of events. We're going to start to see things like the opening for the hackathon entries and the hackathon contest and getting ready for all of those things that culminate at Genesis Week every year. We're 2 months out. We're going to start seeing these things ramp up. But Upland's still in the mode of trying to incentivize people to go. And they're going to incentivize people to go by showing people things that are big and flashy. And rightfully so. It makes you want to go a little bit more. And if you're already going, then it makes the decision you already made seem a little better. And I do like this. Every year Upland does have an after party. That is after the awards ceremony, awards dinner. There's a dinner. There's a reward ceremony where, people win the hackathon of the year. Upland of the Year is awarded, Broadcast of the Year is awarded, and there's been historically an Artist of the Year, UGC Artist of the Year, and there might be some other things set up around the rewards. I don't know. There's some prizes that are given away there. And then there's some event. I mean, 2 years ago, it was a dance party. Last year, it was a concert with Don's band. And this year, we just get the information today. It is going to be kart racing. It's going to be kart racing in person, not virtually, not with Upland, not in Upland, not on some screen somewhere. It is going to be people with their butts in the electric carts shooting around a racetrack. And some more things that are tied in here. So let's get a closer look at what's going on. After the glamour of the award ceremony and the delightful dinner, we're not calling it a night just yet. Instead, we're inviting everyone to join us for an adrenaline-pumping indoor go-karting experience. The experience will include go-karting with your fellow Uplanders. I'm liking it so far. And all the community building you could ever want. And I get into a little bit about this idea of community building, but it is a place for people to hang out and spend more time with people that they're getting to know over the 2 years. Or 2 years, the 2 days, the 2 years, obviously 3 years, how long you've been in the game. You may have already had these connections with these people, not in person, but now you're having to spend some time with them. And it's more unstructured, open time. It's still part of the event. I mean, Upland's calling it an after party, but still part of the event. It's just not sitting in a panel. It's not having Dirk on the stage. It's not, competing in one way or the other in a hackathon, presentation. It's being able to just have conversation and have fun. For more information about the activities, go here, take a look. And I do want to put some ideas out here because Upland is teasing prizes, and that's an incentive to people want to go. He's showing what the value is, but it's also fun for me who's already going to see, hey, look, Upland is going to use this time as giving some prizes out, and they're saying the strongest prizes in the game or the biggest prizes in the game that they've given out in the history of Genesis Week. So I'm going to say, I probably should go to this event. If I'm going anyways, I probably don't want to blow off the after party. All right, let's take a quick look. More than just races, worried go-karting might not be your speed. Fear not, the evening promises plenty of entertainment for everyone with free food, drinks, and nonstop fun. There's going to be something for all attendees to enjoy. And let's not forget about the prizes. Yes, we're going to be anting up this year with giveaways throughout the evening. Trust us, you're going to want to be in it to win it. Okay, I'll take it. Again, last year, there wasn't prizes given out during the concert, but they were given out prior. We had the first Stock Car Pro Series car given out or earned or won during that period of time. There was the first ever totem was given out, which is a pretty big deal. We had some passes or some cafe passes or tokens. I haven't seen those realized yet, but those were given out to some people, the first tokens in the game, abilities to have a cafe. Those were all big prizes, and Upland's moving some of that to this event this year so that people are going to, have something to keep their eyes on, be excited about. The event feels like it's over maybe because of the programming, the schedule, the events of Upland speaking on a stage are over, but it's not over. There's still time to connect with other Uplanders. If you're flying out, don't fly out Friday night if you can avoid it because you don't want to miss this event. All right. And I do want to say here, because it does look like it's K1 is the company. Again, Upland doesn't specifically say so, but it looks like it's K1 Las Vegas. That is the karting company. They are, again, they have like 88 tracks throughout the country. K1 is a pretty big company or people pretty familiar with for racing, again, in a lot of other cities. And they have, a little bit of a codified operation, the way things work, the idea that they have the racetrack and they also have, food and arcade and whatever else there for other forms of entertainment that are built in there. So I can see that there's a variety of things to do while people are there. Upland's going to be providing food and drinks while people are there. And one thing I'll put out there, because there's already been this conversation, is yes, they do sell sort of alcohol at these places. However, drinking while karting is still drinking while driving. So it's going to be different activities for different people, I think. I think those people who want to do one thing can do that one thing. The people who want to do the other can do the other. And maybe some people, if they do things in the right order, can do both. So it's going to be fun to see. And of course, I do not ever turn down prizes. To ensure a smooth and safe experience for all, we'll be reaching out to ticket holders with a link to fill out a racing waiver form before Genesis Week. Keep an eye out in your email, and let's get ready for an epic celebration that promises speed, excitement, and unforgettable memories. The Genesis Week, this Genesis Week, sorry, we're all about speed, excitement, and community. And I wanted to read this last bit here that Upland is putting here. Again, we'll put the last tagline and see you at the finish line. But I want to put that last bit there because we have themes at Genesis Weeks. 2 years ago, I don't know. It was supposed to be International City, I guess. It was that was part of it, but there was a little bit of a coordination around that. Last year, I guess we had racing there, but really the totem thing was kind of thrown in. The UGC thing was kind of thrown in. The Layer 2 was kind of thrown in. There was a lot of things that were kind of built in there. This year, we know Sparklet's going to be coming through, so that might be a theme there. But it looks like Upland, at least from what we're seeing here, we will be having the first championship series year-end race live at Genesis Week in person 2024. That'll be broadcast live in person at the event. So, Upland could have one of the focuses, if not the only focus, but one of the focuses on racing this year, making an in-person racing event, as well as, kind of pushing this speed, excitement, community. That's what we're focusing on this Genesis Week. Racing being a part of Upland moving forward. And again, emphasizing it this Genesis Week being one of the themes, at least one of the themes that we'll see probably carried through a lot of the events at Genesis Week this year. So definitely worth getting that as a little bit of a hint. For more details, if you are so inclined on getting your Genesis Week ticket, you haven't made the decision to go yet, and this helps sweeten the pot for you. The ticket is $100. The event is the 6th through the 7th. It says 10 p.m. PT is the end. It may be a little later than that. I'm not sure how this ties in with the after events and everything. I do know that the cart facility does close at midnight. I don't know what that looks like for timing. Midnight local time for Vegas, but I definitely can put there the asterisk that a lot of people are going to be there Saturday. People are coming in Wednesday to be ready and be in the area. There's going to be time for Uplanders to spend time with Uplanders outside of the event, but the event's going to start 6 p.m. on Thursday, the 6th. That's going to be drinks and getting to know other Uplanders, and we're going to have the staff there. It's going to be a little bit of a meet and greet at that time. And then obviously when we get into Friday's an all-day event. We have breakfast, we have lunch, we have dinner, we have that after event that's going to go till 10 at least, and maybe it goes a little later. I don't know. We'll have to see. And then whatever you want to do with Uplanders outside of that. And with that, $100 is going to buy your ticket in. And now we know more about where that value lies, because Upland had said previously, you're going to get all your food for the three meals on Friday. On Thursday, you're going to get drinks paid for. No meals, just drinks, just for that evening drinks. And we're going to have, the venue space and all of that's going to be there. You got a little discount on the hotel. We know that's all there. And they said, but there could be more. There's going to be some great prizes, but there could be more. And this isn't a more event for me. Upland's booking that. That's part of your ticket. That's what you're paying for. Food is provided. Drinks are provided there at the event. And of course, this event, this after party, the racetrack time, Upland is getting it as a private space, or they're booking in a private space for time for Uplanders to be Uplanders and have fun. And who knows what they're going to do. Maybe there's contests with the in-person racing. I don't know how they're going to organize things, but it's kind of exciting to see that. And again, it does thematically blend in pretty well here with the continue to push with racing in the game of Upland. Again, $100 buys you the ticket. You still have to get there. You still have to get a hotel if you're spending the night. If you're not local, there's nothing that says that you have to stay at the Sahara if you go to the event. There's people who have historically stayed with friends, family in the area. There are people who live in the area. $100 ticket gets you to all the Upland events. It does not require that you're staying at the hotel. So whatever works for you as far as travel arrangements and staying in the area, not going to affect your ability to obviously being at the Sahara makes it easier to be closer to the events, makes it easier to be close to other Uplanders, a lot of which are staying at the Sahara. But again, make it work for you. And And with that, again, I'm going to put the one other thing is we do have a couple other events that we already know about. Again, we're getting ready here for the 6th and the 7th of June. That's going to be Genesis Week. But we do have another deadline fast approaching that when it comes to Genesis Week. That deadline is the 7th. It's coming Sunday. You do have to get your applications in if you want to have an exhibitor booth. That is something that, again, is an application. If approved, then you're going to be having a booth. Upland's going to be designing, or not designing, printing a pop-up banner for you, which is something you have to provide the art for. So with all those things considered, if that's a part of the game that you're in, if you are somebody who has a layer 2 project, or if you have a community, a node group that you're trying to promote, or just a series of meta ventures you want people to know about, that is something that you may want to make a part of your Genesis Week 2024. So that is something that you have until the 7th to apply for. And I expect that we're going to get more and more drops on Genesis Week here in the not so distant future. So keep your eyes open and be ready. And then obviously the last announcement, something that we knew was coming, but definitely worth noting, is Genesis Week update. After the after party, we come back up, we look at our announcements. Here we are. Upland's Blossom Season 2024 racing season. I'll talk about racing as a theme. Spring has sprung and Upland is in full bloom with the onset of the Blossom season, marking the thrilling return of Upland Official Racing Series Beta. Again, they call it a beta because we're going to culminate in Genesis Week 2024 with a race series ending here with our Series 1R, Series 1Es, and Stock Car Pro Series cars. The takeaway is this is not the first full season. We started halfway through the year. Next year is going to be a full year. Genesis Week to Genesis Week has been the culmination of the entire year-long racing series. But they call this year beta because it's a partial portion of that racing season. Obviously, they're gonna have new mechanics potentially in the future. Things are going to work a little differently as far as those pairings of those racing. But for now, we do have the details for Blossom season. This season, we are shaking things up a little bit by introducing the Max Performance Score, the MPS. Again, we talked about a couple things that are coming in for mechanics changes in Upland when it comes to racing. MPS was discussed last quarter or last season. It's here now for this season, for Blossom season. We'll see how it works, and that will likely carry on or be altered or be changed here as we get into the next season, which is going to be Genesis season 2024. Again, with the MPS system, moving away from the traditional car class-based leaderboards. So having the max performance score, we're going to see a little bit different alignment of who's racing who's competing against whom, and where you might end up on a leaderboard. Blossom Season Racing season details. Start date is going to be Thursday, April 4th, 9 a.m. PT. Get ready. That's tomorrow. The end date of the racing season is going to be Wednesday, the 15th of May at 9 a.m. PT. Blossom Season Championship Series Finals is going to be Friday, May 17th at 11 a.m. PT. Head over to the web post to get all the details, including more on the max performance scores, rewards, and rules and requirements. Here we go. Upland Racing Series. Again, this is Blossom Season 2024, revving up for Season 2. Spring has sprung. Obviously, all of us, we already saw this. Let's see the last language here. Their feedback is crucial in fine-tuning this virtual racing experience, setting the stage for an even more thrilling official launch during the Sizzle season of 2024. Again, we are saying that this racing series is the beta. When we get done Genesis Week, we'll have at Genesis Week, we'll have a championship series for this beta portion. And with the fine tuning, with the changing how the leaderboards work, with changing potentially some of the mechanics in racing, that's when Upland, looks like Upland's going to have racing be a more core, more central part of the game of Upland. And they're already moving that way with these championship series, with these seasonal series. But that's when things are going to get a little more codified and things are going to become a little more real on those. That's why we're going to see how things go. They keep throwing stuff against the wall, seeing how they work. That's why we call it a beta. Upland is transforming the racing landscape, making each season a high-octane adventure. Okay, Let's see how verbose the plan can get. By participating in public multiplayer races, players earn points and climb the ranks, leading to a fierce competition that culminates in the high-stakes showdown. The top 12 racers battle it out in the finals and semifinals, vying for a prestigious spot in Upland lore and on the Upland Championship Circuit leaderboard. Max performance score. So this is new. Let's see a little bit more what this is all about. This season, we'll be shaking things up by introducing the Max Performance Score MPS system, moving away from a traditional car class-based leaderboard. This fresh feature marks an exciting advancement, opening the door to host a whole host of dynamic racing elements. Every car is now assigned a performance score, and races will feature a set MPS limit. Okay, so somebody who's going to be having raced in a lot of success is not going to necessarily be racing against somebody, at least on on the leaderboards here, on the championship leaderboards, not going to be racing typically against somebody with less success previously in racing, less experience. That makes sense. I like to see that. This means participants can choose any vehicle for any race, provided it doesn't exceed a race's MPS cap. So again, you have too good of a car, you can't go in that race because you can't race your best car against somebody's average car. Makes sense to me. So we're going to see this. Please choose your race settings below. Define carts only, define stock car only, define MPS. So if we define MPS again, it's going to be a band where you're going to have to be in a certain band to participate in that race. For this season, a car's performance score is the sole factor in this calculation. Again, the racing performance, the racer's performance is coming in the future. Consumables are coming, but soon race consumables will also play a part, adding a new layer of strategy and personalization to how you race. Again, altering your car to increase the performance, aka pushing it potentially into a different class, starting with one class car, improving that car until it fits into another class. For example, in races with a 200 MPS limit, racers will have two main strategic paths. One option will be to choose a high performance car that uses the full 200 MPS, harnessing maximum speed and power for track dominance. Alternately, opting for a car with a lower MPS score, say 150, leaves space for future incorporation of consumables. Again, future, not this season. We're iterative, we're doing one thing this season so we can do another thing next season. Although consumables are not yet in play, they will add to your performance score. The prospect of utilizing them for things like boost or improving handling introduces a new layer of strategy. And again, I do want to just little bit of conceptualization, a little bit of history here. So at one point, for in full context, at one point up when I was talking about having modifications of cars, having car shops, I don't think that's going to happen immediately. I don't think that's going to be something that we're going to see where you're going to have a car shop as a form of meta venture where you bring your car in and you improve the handling a little bit. I think that what Upland's setting up, or the system Upland's setting up right now, is more about their Upland's probably going to be selling the consumables. You're going to purchase the consumables. It's going to be a temporary boost to your car. That's how you're going to improve the car, as opposed to it being meta venture based, at least at this time. I'd love to see it change. I'd love to see consumables. Maybe there'll be a secondary market where people could buy and sell consumables, and they're not attached to your car until you're attached to your car. Yeah, maybe the secondary is there, but it looks like for now it's going to be something that Upland's going to be selling to you and me and everybody else who's going to be in racing. And again, that's likely starting next season, not this one. Maximum performance score. Enter the maximum performance score. The MPS defines which cars will be allowed to join this race. So there you go. Set that, and then nobody with a higher MPS score can join that race. Easy enough. This approach will encourage racers to balance raw car performance with potential tactical enhancements. Again, if I start with a low MPS score and I want to enhance acceleration because of a specific racetrack, I can do that. If I want to enhance my top speed because of a specific racetrack, I could do that. If I want to enhance my handling because of a specific racetrack, I can do that. That's what we're going to be seeing with these consumables, this idea of customizing the car to the racetrack, the idea of building your race set or how you race around the individual track, making the race experience in Upland more dynamic and strategic, even more or even before consumables officially hit the market. See, the performance score is 188 for this 2022 MV Motors Series 1. Easy enough. This season, as we prepare to roll out consumables, our focus will be on leveraging the MPS system to shape the leaderboard standings. This approach promises to deliver a racing experience that is both more nuanced and engaging, highlighting the strategic depth of Upland's racing dynamics. So, Blossom System racing schedule or season details here. Again, for the schedule, starts tomorrow. Tomorrow, the 4th of April at 9 a.m. PT. That is Thursday. At the end of the end date, the end of the season will be Wednesday the 15th at 9 a.m. PT of May. So just under a month and a half. Blossom Championship Series Finals will be on the 17th. That's Friday, May 17th at 11:30 a.m. PT. The MPS leaderboards. There's going to be a leaderboard between 175 and 226. Again, that's the Upland Championship circuit, between 153 and 160, 134 and 152, and then 90 and 132. And what I really like, thank you, Upland, for doing this. Carts. There's a cart leaderboard. If you want to participate in racing carts, race those carts to your heart's content. I love racing carts because I start out with the same value. Again, Upland's building these MPS scales, and this car is a little higher MPS, which, overall performance score, but carts all have the same performance score. So you can know that you're racing based on your skill and knowledge of the track. Maybe consumables will factor into that in the future, but right now that's not the case. So looking forward to the carts, but of course, you're going to find your MPS bands here with the racing. You're going to see what MPS score each of your cars has, and you're going to see where you fit when it comes to the leaderboards, as opposed to just saying Series 1, Series 2, Series 1E, Series 2E. Now that banding is essentially looking at performance as opposed to looking at the series. Because, again, there's some overlap. There's some cars that maybe a TR is going to be more similar to a not a 1. Maybe a TR is more similar to a 4E as far as racing is concerned than a TR is to a T. Maybe that's going to be one of the things we're going to find and learn when the MPS scores. The point system. Players will only be able to gain points on each of the leaderboards by participating in multiple public multiplayer races with stakes. Again, races with stakes. This is something that Upland's incentivizing people to race with stakes. It does help build the Upland economy in that the MetaVenture racing, they get a share of those races. Like, winners get prizes. Those who are paying just to participate, those who are paying and not actively trying to win, they're going to end up spending a lot of UPX. So you're going to want to be winning on these long term. Only public races involving 3 or more real-life participants will be eligible for points during the season. We have the similar alignment of how you earn points here. So if you race against 2 appointments, you get plus 1 point. If you race against 3 opponents, you get plus 3 points. If you race against 4 other real people, opponents, plus 5 points. And race against 5 or more, well, I should say 5 or more, because 5 is the most you can race against. 5 other real players, you get 10 points. Again, you see that jump between 4 racers and 5 racers, or 4 opponents and 5 opponents, is a huge benefit to gain a full race series. Points for staking. Players who stake more win more. Again, you do have to stake to get points, but at different levels of staking, you get different levels of points. This holds true for this season as well as it did last time. The other 4 levels, or there are 4 levels of races that have stakes for players that you can choose from. Again, you have to stake at the specific level and you get specific points. If you're staking at 1,500 UPX stake per player, it's 1,500 UPX stake for each player. First place gets 5 points. Second place gets 3. Third place gets 2 points. If we go to 5,000, it is first for 15, second for 11, third for 7, 10,000 UPX put in by each player. First place gets 25. Second place gets 18. Third place gets 12. And of course, the more, the more. 15,000 UPEX stake per player. First place is going to get 50 points. Second place gets 30 points. Third place gets 20 points. Easy enough. Again, only public races with stakes with at least 3 or more real players will be eligible for a leaderboard. What is a public race? A public race is one that is not private. It does not require a code to get into. It is interesting that Upwind has made it public. Last time it wasn't. So with the public, you have to be getting open to have other players come in and other players be a participant in the race, and allowing that to be the case. Someone else can come in and can be in your race and race against you. Races outside these amounts won't qualify for multiplayer or staking points, aka 17,000 UPEX by each player staked. Unfortunately, is going to get you nothing. 1,499 UPEX stake per player in a racers is going to get you nothing. So just follow those rules if you want to be getting staked points. Additionally, all community fees will be added to the prize pool for the leaderboard victors. Well, that's nice. So anything that would otherwise be going to all the fees that would otherwise be going to the community pool, they go back to sweeten the pot for the victors. Leaderboards will close on Wednesday the 15th of May, 9 a.m. PT. The leading 10 racers on each leaderboard will be awarded prizes. Easy enough. The top 12 in the championship series, again, 176 to 226 MPS, will advance to the finals on Friday, May 17th at 11:30 a.m. PT. Again, the championship series, the top race cars are the only ones that are going to have a competition at the end. They're going to have a championship series at the end, but everybody else is going to be broken into their groups, and top 10 do get a prize based on where they fall on that leaderboard. Each season's finals will unfold in the iconic Upland Monument. This season, the Empire State Building Monument Speedway will host the finals. The Upland Racing League will host the broadcast of the finals, showcasing the pinnacle of Upland's racing landscape. Rules for finals: 12 players in 2 heats. 6 will try to qualify for the finals. Finals heats will be determined by finishing place. Odds 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11 in heat 1. Evens in heat 2. With the race include a qualifying lap to determine starting position. Top 3 race finishers from each heat go on to the finals. 6 racers in the finals. That makes sense to me. A qualifying lap will be used to determine finalists' starting positions. In event that someone errs out of the race in a heat race, players can try to rejoin. If unable to control their car and rejoin, then players will be given the place that they finish if the driverless car, regardless of where that is. If a player errs out in the final race, you automatically become a 6th place because they don't want somebody to just dumb luck into a good position in the top 6 racers. Prizes: the top 10 racers in each leaderboard will receive prizes in UPEX and may include Spark, with special badges for championship series for the high MPS top finishers. Excuse me. These rewards will not only recognize achievement, but also fuel the competitive spirit that's better of Upland's racing community. First place: players achieving coveted first place in their vehicle class finals will receive 150,000 UPEX and 0.25 Spark. Second place is going to get 100,000 UPEX, 0.15 Spark. Third place, 75,000 UPEX, 0.1 Spark. 4th through 10th, 50,000 UPEX, 0.05 Spark. Yeah, it's an incentive. It's a bonus. It is something to work towards if you are taking racing seriously. And again, the stakes you're going to win along the way by being part and participant in these staked races. They're going to enrich you if you're winning a lot. They're going to cost you if you're losing a lot. Pretty simple, pretty easy there. The rest, the quest for the crown, Upland Championship Circuit. Keep this circuit is going to be one race to the next if you're in that top series. And again, we've introduced MPS as a stand-in for cars, and you can improve your MPS score by boosting the car. We get all that. But that is going to replace who's in that top race series. So theoretically, you could start with a lower class car, build up into it, as opposed to it having to be a Series 1R or Stock Car Pro Series car as we move forward. All right, competitors can only ascend this leaderboard by securing a top 12 finish in each series or each seasonal series, making each race a critical step along the way to the end of the season. Again, only that top tier MPS score is going to have the championship at the end of the year. Each year, the championship circuit will culminate in a final race during Genesis Week, again, making this a real year round. So we do already have standings based on our first season during Frost season. Look at those folks. Ooh, look at all you guys. And again, it's the people who've been involved in racing from day one. So congratulations on all those folks. They're already a top 12 there. And people have different points based on what they did. If you win twice, if you win this time around, Phalos, you're going to be in pretty good standing when we get to Genesis Week to try to continue on from there. Champion circuit point structure. First place gets 30 points, second 25, third 20, and all the way down to 12th place getting a single point. Prizes, Genesis Week approaches. We'll reveal the prizes as we get closer to the championship series. Those prizes will be announced. These rewards will be the most coveted and valuable, reserved for the top victors. Keep an eye out. I don't have one of the best cars in the game. I can't participate in this. Theoretically, with the MPS scores, if there's ways to boost up one of the cars I have that aren't the most or the best performance, maybe I can push myself up along the way. I don't know. We'll have to see. Closing thoughts as we race towards the Blossom Championship Series Finals. Remember that this season is not just about the competition. It's also about shaping the future of racing in Upland. Gear up, get ready, and let's make this Blossom season 2024 racing season in Upland one for the history books. And again, I want to put there this idea. Hey, KO, good to see you. Hey, Dopest Crew, good to see you as well. And of course, this is exciting as we do look forward on racing, as making it something that is a competitive, maybe not focal point of the game, and that is the center of the game, but it's a event that some people can participate in and feel they have a home. We had this argument, or the community's had this argument for a long time. What are you going to replace treasure hunting with? Treasure hunting's been nerfed. Treasure hunting's not what it used to be, and there's absolute truth to that. People had made a lot of spark over short periods of time. The competitive elements of treasure hunting were set differently in the past. There's now rotational treasure hunting, where the competitives are only in certain cities at certain times. There used to be larger prizes. There used to be ways that there were events all the time where there were larger prizes available during those key events. We haven't had the spark hunt in a very long time. I don't expect to see one anytime soon, but this is kind of approaching a level of gameplay where people can feel that they have a place, they have something they enjoy doing. They're doing it for the fun of it and not just for the rewards. And if racing can get a little more dynamic, and there's ways to get a little more strategy in there, and maybe there's a way to continue to improve your performance by improving your capabilities or your understanding the tracks, or investing in a way that other people aren't investing in improving your car, that's going to be an element that a lot of people are going to enjoy. It may not be everybody. And I would love to see racing sit over here. I'd love to see treasure hunting stay where it, as something. Maybe again, I've argued that treasure hunting with the Uplix going out and the Spark going out, maybe that isn't something that has to exist forever. But there has to be some things to do in the game of Upland that are going to be exciting to different groups of people, because not everyone is going to want to race. Historically, not everyone's wanted to treasure hunt. And as we move forward with this layer 2 versus layer 1, if Upland can have dynamic and exciting things to do in layer 1, as well as all the layer 2 offerings that are being put out by other independent developers, I think that's going to help hold the what is Upland as a game, or where is the game in Upland. It's going to help answer that question. So looking forward to racing becoming more dynamic as we move closer to Genesis Week this year. Again, the closing thoughts here by Upland: the race is on. If you have problems, the race series doesn't work well, if you don't like it, this year, this season, I think this is an opportunity to put it out there. Note boards exist. Upland hears what's going on in general, people's comments, things that people say. Obviously, do not disparage the team of Upland and say these guys are idiots, because it's not fair to anybody. Nobody wants to hear that. But if you say that, hey, this racing series doesn't work as well, and hey, look, it looks like this certain set of people are performing better because of this glitch or whatever seems to be happening, it's definitely going to be worth getting that as part of the conversation, improving it so it's more fun. I hate saying make the game fair for everybody, because again, it is a pay to play type game where people can improve their performance by spending more money. Again, if you want to be part of the best racing series, you buy an expensive car. Otherwise, you're not part of that best racing series. That's the reality of the game. However, I do like that inside those bands of the people who own those more expensive cars, or even those people who just own cars, that the quality of somebody's racing skills as they improve are going to affect the outcome of those races. So that's where the fun is for me, that there actually is some game there. But I don't like to use, like I said, I don't like to use the term fair. But if there's parts of the elements of the game that aren't working or don't seem to be working, I would love it to be part of the conversation. I love it to get answered. I love it to get fixed, because Upland ultimately is iterative, and iterative in Upland, when things work right, means getting better all the time. So looking forward to that, and looking forward to racing headed towards Genesis Week 2024, doing just that. And definitely worth noting, definitely worth keeping our eyes out. Today is the 3rd. 3rd is the first day of NFT NYC. I got the email this morning as a previous participant of NFT NYC. The organization said, hey, get here. Well, I'm not there. I'm not in New York this week. I won't be in New York this week. I have to work up here a couple hundred miles away. So that's not going to happen. But guess who's going to be there? Dirk is going to be at NFT NYC this year, OMA 3, something that Upland's a part of, continuing to have a panel, or having a pretty large panel at NFT NYC this year. Dirk hosting or being MC of that event. So I'm looking forward to what comes on the other side, because Upland's kind of hinted, they'll give a little tickle of there might be some information coming out. There might be an announcement coming out of Genesis Week. Of course, there'll be stuff going on in Genesis Week, but this idea that there might be some more information coming out of NFT NYC this year. So keep your eyes out over the next couple of days. Keep an eye out on Upland's Twitter. Maybe, just maybe, you see it on the overall metaverse news, the general metaverse news. Maybe we see something related to Sparklet, because go figure. We have been getting hints about, get ready, more's coming. Every once in a while, we see a Twitter post, and it's like wink, wink, nod, nod. Wouldn't it be nice if Sparklet was here from Upland? So we're getting real close. So keep your eye out for that. And of course, we have Paris Blockchain Week next week. There is a meetup that was organized, or has been organized, put together by the Metaverse Street Journal and Upland. So they'll be putting that on next week. So if you are in France, if you are in traveling distance to Paris, hit up those groups and double check, and keep your eyes on community content, and tools. They've been putting announcements in there about how to participate, how to get there, and what the event is. So keep that in mind over the next couple of weeks. And otherwise, looking forward to seeing you all at Genesis Week if you choose to go, and looking forward to seeing what Genesis Week brings to the game of Upland. We're 2 months out, so I'm going to start saying Genesis Week just about every day, because if Upland's dropping an announcement on it, we're getting closer as far as I'm concerned. But for tonight, thank you so much for being here. We're here Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. PT. We're supposed to get things started, but it takes a little bit. We have some conversation in the Upland Discord before, often open conversation, with the show kicking off sometime thereafter. But if you've been here tonight, if you're in the Upland Discord, as always, I like to leave people with the idea of the floor being yours. So if you're in the Upland Cafe, please feel free to unmute your mic. Floor is yours.